Janet, I'm sorry that you're in the hospital right now, but I've got to leave you. Do your best with raising a little brat!
James? What are you trying to say here? I don't get what you're saying at all. What do you mean you're leaving?
Yeah, I can't do this anymore. I thought of just leaving quietly without too much of a hassle. But yeah, I thought it would leave a bad taste in your mouth either way. I've left you the divorce papers, so sign them up so that I can hurry up and get out of this marriage. Please.
Divorce papers? I'm sorry, but I have got absolutely no idea what you're trying to do. You do realize that I'm in the hospital right now about to give birth to our child, right?
Of course I get what's going on. But I have no intention of acknowledging that child's existence. I don't want it. Just try raising it on your own.
I don't believe this. Are you being serious, James? Is this some sort of prank you're pulling? It's just bad taste to be joking with me right now.
But this isn't a joke, Janet. You must know that.
What? Why are you doing this?
I've already left the divorce papers for you in the living room. So fill it out, sign it, and file it at the courthouse, please. It would be much appreciated.
Stop messing me about, James. You haven't even seen your child yet. What is this madness? Have you no sense of responsibility?
To be honest with you, I don't really much care for children. Just the sight of them makes me feel sick.
You're kidding me, right? You don't like kids?
It also makes me sick to know that you're giving birth to a child at the age of 42! If we think about this in a calming manner, you're an old hag having a child, Janet. What's it like to give birth at such an old age?
What kind of child do you think this is? You think it's bad that I'm giving birth to this child? Plus risking my own life in the process?
Look, I've had enough of all this crap. There, I said it clear and plainly for you. I'm going to get a divorce from you, so that I'm not with an old hag. Basically because I can't love a child that's coming from a miserable old hag like you.
Now, wait just a minute there, James. A child that's from a miserable old hag? What kind of person does that make you if you're going to completely insult your own flesh and blood, your own child, James?
No matter what, my low-leveled insults are nothing compared to an old hag giving birth to a brat. I've already decided what I've wanted to do, alright? After all, younger women are much better. I have no idea what I was thinking when we were getting married. I'm still only in my 30s, and you're in your 40s already? It's gross. I don't know how I managed to go along with that.
I can't believe the things you're saying. I'm barely that much older than you, and I was in my 30s just 2 years ago. I can't help getting older as time goes by. It's a natural part about being a human. You've picked the worst possible time to be doing this to me. It's such a cruel thing to up and abandon me like this.
Don't even worry about it. I'm just going to do whatever I want. If I'm being honest, I don't get why I married such an old hag in the first place. Next time, I'm definitely going to marry a younger woman. It's just going to be impossible for me to look after an old lady and a little brat if I want to be with a younger woman. If you think you're going to have trouble with raising the kid, then just get a live-in nurse. It's an impossible job for me to do.
I really didn't expect you to be saying things like this. I thought you wanted a child with me and to be happy together.
I knew that I couldn't do this when you found out that you were pregnant.
Wait, what? You felt like this since then? That was almost 9 months ago.
Well, I thought now would be a better time to let it all out. I thought that you getting pregnant at the age of 42 was just so wrong and gross. If an old hag was going to give birth to a little brat, I just knew I couldn't love you anymore. And so, I want a divorce. It's not right.
Fine, I get it. Have it your way then. We can break up.
Good job with bringing a child up on your own, Janet!
You've stooped too low and I'm done with this conversation. It's impossible to deal with you right now. I'll file the divorce papers once I've signed them. Don't even think about contacting me again. I don't want to hear from you. With all this, you've given up all your rights when it comes to our child.
Ha! I don't need anything else. I don't think this child is even mine. I think it's absolutely disgusting that you're having a child at your age. You're such an old hag, Janet.
Goodbye, James. I never want to be reminded of you ever again. Please get out of my life.
You don't need to even say anything. I'm out of here. I'll keep the checkbook that I left at the house.
What? The money from the checkbook? You took it?
Of course I took it. I'll take it as a parting gift for myself. On that note, I'll leave you to it. Take care of yourself.
You can't just take the money as a gift. You're the one that should be paying me for all the things you've said and done. Nothing more you could say to me would change how low you've sunk in my book. Don't contact me again. I don't care about what you do anymore. Not to bother you or anything, but why the heck did you barge into my parents' house? You're so annoying, and you need to stop interfering in my life.
Janet, thank you for messaging me. I've been trying to get in contact with you, but you never answered me. I thought that I'd never see you again.
What are you talking about? I'm not seeing you, and I don't want to see you. I have no intentions to meet you.
Just you contacting me like this makes me really happy to hear from you.
Haven't you been listening to this conversation? Stop being a nuisance and barging into my parents' house.
I have to stop that? Why? It would be fine if you just met up with me. Then we'd have no problems.
You're giving me such bad vibes. What's your point in doing this, James?
I'm in tatters without you, Janet. I want us to fix what's broken.
Is this for real, James? After all you did to me, you want to be together again?
I'm begging you. Please forget those days long ago that I said those things to you. I want to be together. I shouldn't have dated a younger woman.
What the heck are you talking about, James? Why are you messing with me?
I'm not. Look, I'm sorry for what I've done. I dated a younger woman after I left you, and we were going to get married, but it ended up being a scam. She was a wedding scammer.
Oh, is that so? Oh, that's no good, James.
So I've been forced into debt as she took a lot of money from me. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I knew it wouldn't be good trying to marry someone younger than me. Younger women are just bad news. All I have is you now.
Now this is just making me feel sick to my stomach. What are you trying to say, James? I really hope that this is some kind of joke. Ha ha. Just what are you looking for when it comes to me? Because I have no clue anymore. Don't come to my parents' house anymore, okay? Or I'll call the police and notify them about you trying to get in.
Why would you do that to me? Please tell me where you're living now. I want to hang out with you. I'm good to go right now if you like.
Excuse me? You want to hang out? I have no plan on meeting you, James. No way.
I've been trying to find you for a while now, Janet, but you must have moved apartments or something. I didn't hear from you, so I was desperately trying to find out where you lived. That's why I went looking for you at your parents' house. Finally, you replied to my messages, and I'm so happy about that.
I'm not happy about this at all, and it's just getting beyond annoying now. So would you please just stop trying to contact me?
Okay, then we can just start all over again.
Are you nuts? Why are you in such a good mood with me now? Oh yeah, let's just start over. No way. That's not how this works after how awful you were to me.
I don't get it. Why not? I'm making amends for what I've said to you in the past.
It was over 2 years ago, James. To me, you're just a disgusting ex-husband who abandoned me for a younger woman. It would be such a hassle and a nuisance if someone suddenly just started looking for me again. Which is what you're being, James. What makes you think that the opposite can happen and I take you back, huh? You're just a piece of trash that I want gone.
What the heck, Janet? That's a bit of an exaggeration. Why are you being like this? You must be feeling lonely too, right? You're already 44? I'm talking to an old hag who's lonely and nobody cares about. I know that you were waiting for me to contact you. That's why I'm saying let's start all over. Don't you understand how kind I'm being right now?
You still have these types of misunderstandings for me just like before. You haven't changed one bit. Just because I'm older than you doesn't mean you can look down on me as something that doesn't sell. Why do you think of me as leftovers? Don't you remember how you broke up with me 2 years ago?
What? I don't get what you mean.
Around the time I was about to give birth to our child, you said a downright cruel thing. You said that you can't love a little brat that an old hag gave birth to. You abandoned a mother and daughter, all for a younger woman that you were running after. And you're really still trying to get back together with me, even though you deceived me. Are you paying attention to the reality of all this?
You're so certain about what I said to you. But I wasn't being that serious about it, Janet. I didn't have any confidence at that time, so I accidentally said those cruel things to you when it came to expressing my feelings. I really regret it, Janet.
Even if you regret it, it's got nothing to do with me now. If you regret what you said, then why don't you reflect on it so that you'll do better next time? It's too late with us. There's no next time for you and me.
Why are you saying such things? I can't believe that you don't want to start things over with me. I thought that you would still love me even after all this time.
Ew, no way, James. Please stop saying such things. That's so disgusting. While making those sort of statements, you think that you can just contact me and walk back into my life as if nothing has happened? It's unbelievable. I've had enough of this drama. And I'm busy, so that's about all I have to say.
Huh? Why are you busy?
I can't do anything more for you. I refuse to. Find the right girl on your own. I don't want to be with you. Well, there might not be any woman on this earth who would be a perfect match with you.
How could you say something like that to me? And you thought I was cruel? Don't you like me anymore?
Naturally, I don't from the messages I sent you. You're a garbage of an ex-husband.
Are you still working?
What's that got to do with anything we've talked about?
You're on a good income, aren't you? It doesn't matter if I'm unemployed and we're together, right?
I'm not surprised at this. I'm not going to take you in just because you don't have a job. What am I supposed to do about you not having any money? I can't believe what you were trying to pull out of a hat to try and get with me again. I'm busy with my own life here and you're a complete stranger to me. I don't want to be anywhere near you.
But we have a child together, Janet. I'm that kid's parent too, you know. We should be raising this child together, as a family.
You have no rights to this child, James. Did you forget that you gave up on all rights to the child when we got divorced? Rather, that you didn't even recognize the child as your own. I had to do the complicated matter of submitting a birth certificate and divorce papers at the same time. It was such a hassle, especially with how I was feeling at the time. But somehow, it all worked out, and you have no rights to my daughter. After that, I got married again, and now my husband has adopted my daughter as his own.
Excuse me? She's got a new father? Why did you get remarried without my permission? How come you didn't tell me?
Why do I have to tell you something like that?
Maybe it's because you're my ex-wife?
That's exactly right. You're a stranger to me, and it's not right for you to say that. So, with that, I would like to claim back the money that you stole from me before, please.
What are you talking about? What money I stole?
I don't know how someone can forget about stolen money. Even if the person who hurt you forgets, the person who got hurt always remembers. That's what we need to deal with now. I won't forgive you for what you've done to me, and I don't want anything to do with you anymore. I won't forgive you unless you stop causing trouble with my parents and with my little family.
Janet, please don't be like this. I want to start over again with you. I want to fix the mistake I made 2 years ago. I'll do my best to improve things between us. Let's move forward in life together.
I refuse to do all of those things with you. I have no intention of starting over with someone who has failed me once before. I'm really happy now. Getting a divorce from you was one of the best decisions of my life. Ha ha.
And that's that with me? What did I even do that was so utterly terrible? At least can you lend me some money? Do I have to visit your parents' house again?
Fine. If you're really going to be that way, I'll tell my parents the next time you come round to there so that they can go to the police.
What? You're involving the police now? You're not going to do that to your ex-husband, are you?
It's up to me what I decide to do, and that's what I'll do to keep you away from me and my family. I'm completely cutting ties with you, James. Don't expect anything from me. I don't want to be bothered again in the future, and I never want to see your pathetic face ever again. If you're going to say something more troubling than this, then we're going to take some serious measures against you. You better remember that.
Now hold up a minute. You're taking what serious measures against your own ex-husband?
Just so you know, my husband's a lawyer. So if you do anything that pushes my limit, my husband could get involved, you see? If you don't want that to happen, then I would just live a quiet life while you look on your sad and pathetic reality. See you later, you piece of crap! You know how you used to call me an old hag? You're old enough now to be called a miserable old man. Well, more like a poor, lonely, and miserable old man. You make me sick just by having to interact with you on a phone. Don't contact me ever again! In the end, James finished the conversation without saying anything back in response to Janet's messages. He wanted to do more about it and even went to her parents' house. He was reported for harassing them to the police and taken away. Until now, it seems that he's gone underground, so with that, her parents were able to find a secure place to live away from harassment. It seems that he was sent to a sketchy factory, as it were. He paid the debts that he owed. It seems that every day his day started with working really hard. He might be able to rehabilitate from this? Janet is living a happy life every day with her cute little daughter and her kind and gentle second husband. It seems that their daily life has become quite different since James was out of their lives. Naturally, that's good news for this cute little family unit.
What was that you made for dinner today? After having to suffer through that, I'd say you're better off feeding us all up frozen dinners from now on. Why the heck are you making us such disgusting food to eat for our last meal of the day now? You really are the most useless woman I've ever known.
Are you talking about the dinner that I made and left out for you? I made that because I had to stay late at work today and wouldn't be home in time to make you anything. Did that chicken and pasta not suit your taste buds well enough or something? The last time I made that exact meal for you, you told me it was amazing and that you'd want it again sometime.
It was completely cold. So if you're not going to make me anything fresh, then it's going to be freaking disgusting. Also, what's with you trying to feed me the exact same meals twice like that? Are you trying to get me ticked off right now or something?
First of all, you were supposed to put that food in the microwave if you want to eat it warm. You should be able to do that much by yourself, right? How come you didn't ever try something as simple as that before starting to talk to me like this? Actually, since you're going to complain to me this much about something so petty, how about you start to cook your own dinner? I think that would be best for you, considering you're old enough now to cook for yourself.
Huh? Are you telling me to do something like cooking now? Your job as the woman of this house is to do all the chores and cooking. Why the heck else do you think my dad ended up marrying someone like you?
I happen to have myself a job right now, and things like housework and cooking are not just a woman's job. I like to think that chores and things like that should be done by everyone living in the house, including you. That's part of being a family.
Stop trying to make it seem so pretty. All I can hear coming out of you right now is your excuses for trying to push your work off onto someone else like me. Every single household I know makes the mother handle all the chores in the house. And that includes things like cooking as well. You married my dad in order to do all the chores for us here, right?
I don't ever remember saying anything like that as a part of my vows to him. And as far as I'm aware, both you and your father don't do anything at all around the house. Before I even married your father, I had been looking for someone that would share the chores and responsibility of caring for a family. And at the time I first met your father, he told me he was that person. However, now I can clearly see that was all a lie.
Huh? You just don't happen to see how much my dad cares about me in this house. He really loves me a lot, and puts a lot of thought into the man I'll become. And in order to make sure I'm being a responsible young man, he makes sure to keep my allowance to himself, only giving me my money when I deserve it.
I'm not really sure about what all goes on with the allowance you get, but I am very aware of the fact that your father really loves you a lot.
Also, my dad is always busy with his life and has to be out of the house a lot. If you don't take care of any of the chores around here, then who the heck will?
I'm really not sure what your father is up to that keeps him out of the house so often, but the one who seems to always just sit around in the house is you, Jimmy. Just sitting in your room all day playing your video games like you don't have any other responsibilities.
Huh? I am working my butt off right now. Do you have any idea who it is that's responsible for you having any food to eat? Had it not been for me allowing you to marry my dad, then he would have never gone through with any of it. Your old butt would be on the streets right now trying to figure out where your next meal will come from.
Let's think about that. I am aware that at the time of me getting married to your father, your input on the whole thing was also important. But let me tell you, even if I didn't marry your father, I wouldn't have to worry about being homeless or anything close to that.
I wonder about that.
About what?
So far, you've barely been able to cook me up any decent meals. And when it comes to things like laundry and cleaning, you can't even deal with that. You also barely go to work at all. Well, you come home to complain about all the work you have to do here. Then there's the fact that you're way too ugly and are older than my dad. You better be freaking happy my dad came along and offered you his hand in marriage. Because had he not, no other man would have taken you. My dad is one of the most caring men in this world, and you'd better start to understand and respect that.
Listen here, Jimmy. I'm not really sure where to start that would end with you understanding where I'm coming from, but I'd like to start by asking you why you're acting like you're so remarkable compared to me.
That's because I am the center of this household, making me the most remarkable, of course.
Is that right?
My dad is saying this all the time. He says that I'm the center of this household, and if I weren't here, there would be nothing left. So there. If you don't start treating me like the god I am, then I'll make sure you're divorced and sent far away from here.
I see then. So your father has just been spoiling the hell out of you this whole time. But let me ask, with such an awful mouth and attitude, do you have any friends? Are you going to be all right in the future?
Before you start to worry about me, How about you worry about yourself? There is no telling when I'll ask for you to be cut out of this family, right? If I get my dad to throw you out, then you'll be right back on the streets looking for a place to sleep.
Jimmy, I'm starting to get the idea that you underestimate me a little too much.
I'm not underestimating you. When you have no attributes to yourself that all the other women have. The moment my dad casts you aside, you're gonna be done for. Am I right? Unlike him, you look like a dried up fig.
Oh? So you're telling me your father looks a whole lot better than myself? And how would someone like you be aware of that?
I'm aware of that because of this one little secret. My dad happens to have all these women he can go out and play with. I would have to say, he's been with more women than most men in the US could even dream of getting with.
Is that right? And why would he be telling you all about this?
He doesn't tell me anything. But the fact that he's always out all night and doesn't come back until early morning has to be because of the women he sees. And now that I think about it, recently he's been out pretty late again, right? I wonder if he has himself some new girls to hang out with again. Dang, that's too bad for you. But that's all on you, considering you look like a dried out sponge.
So that's what you think? I'd only thought he was good looking enough for all those women back in school. But he still has the looks and the women to this day.
Well, if there is ever a moment where my dad brings in a hottie that can actually do the chores without complaining, then I'll ask him to marry that woman. Of course, he'd listen to me, so you should start preparing for a day like that. I already happen to have my hands on some divorce forms that are all filled out inside.
All right.
I'm busy with work still again tonight, so I won't be home until really late. This all might take me to the morning to complete, so just be aware of that. I might just stay the night here at that point, and be ready for work the next day.
Sounds pretty busy there, but thanks for letting me know that. By the way, I got some more complaints from your son again about my cooking. Do you think you can say something to him about all of that, Stanley?
He started complaining about you again. Did he say things like your cooking is disgusting or something?
Yes.
Well, he's the one saying all of that, not me. After all, he is the center of this family, and his word is final. And since he thinks of himself as that, there is nothing I could do about what he says. And I wouldn't want to tell him to lie and call your food delicious either, right? That would be even more wrong.
This isn't about me wanting your son to say the food is good. This is about how much time I put into making dinner and other meals, all right? And this whole time you've been saying that it's all really tasty and you want seconds.
That's just how I feel about your cooking. The fact that your food isn't good enough for him is another story.
But the fact that he will complain about my cooking like that after expressing his feelings about it, it's not okay. I happen to be working a job and handling all the chores at home. That makes me a very busy person as well, yet he keeps on making those snarky comments like that's supposed to help me do everything to his liking. I have had it up to here with him now, Stanley.
Don't say things like that. To me, that little man is my cute baby boy. And back when you and I got married, you told me yourself that you thought of him as your own kid because he's so cute, right?
If you're going to bring up what was said back before we got married, then how about you? You told me that when we got married, you'd help take care of both the family and all the chores together with me. You said that to me, right? Why am I the only one putting in all this work at home?
You can't blame me for that, considering I'm already doing my best. And that's why I have to stay out so late every night working, right?
Are you really putting in work at the office, though? You told me about how you finally found yourself a job again and all that, but ever since you got that job, you've never been home. There has to be something else going on there, because no company would ever work a new employee that long every day.
Huh? Are you doubting what I've been up to now? Then what would happen if I stopped working, huh? What would you be able to do? Tell me right now.
That's nothing I could know about right now. But the fact that you just burst out in anger there when I said something's up makes you even more suspicious to me. Have you really fixed that gambling addiction you had before?
I already told you that was cured a long time ago. I can't believe after all this work I've been putting in, you are still not happy with it and are trying to call me out.
I never said I was calling you out regarding the work you put in.
Ugh, whatever. I'm not coming home tonight. I hope this makes you learn your damn lesson, you bitch.
All right already, Stanley, just go.
Well, my dad is out putting in all that work trying to provide for this family. Why are you here all alone, enjoying some beers like you deserve to relax? That's why he always tells me about how much of a terrible wife you are.
I have worked a lot of hours and have been doing chores every single day for who knows how long now. I deserve to have a break to catch my breath and unwind. Why are you getting so angry with me over simply drinking a couple of beers? Where did you run off to while I went and cleaned my face?
Don't you dare start complaining to me like you're something special, when I'm the one that's allowed you to live in this house. I'm going out to have dinner with my dad now. I'm going to make sure my dad takes care of you after what I saw today.
Huh? What did you just say? Who was it that has allowed me to live in this house again?
I have no use for an asshole like you in this house anymore. Considering you've had to leech off of my money to live here, get the hell out of that house.
What are you going on about, Jimmy? You sure you didn't trip and slam your head against the ground or something on the way out?
Huh? What the hell are you on about? That's what I want to know, you ugly whore. Now that you've had a beer poured all over your face, you should be aware just how little you matter to this family and leave.
Oh, I see, Jimmy. I totally understand what little I mean to this family. I guess I will do as you've asked and leave this family for good. I'll even make sure to handle the divorce, too.
Well, of course you'll handle the divorce. And then you will never come around my dad or I, or this house ever again. Don't even let me see your face again out in public, or I'll make you pay.
Sure thing. Goodbye forever now.
Hey, answer the frickin' phone already. Who do you think you are ignoring me like that? You can see all these calls, right? Reply to me right now, woman.
Who is this?
Don't frickin' ask me who the hell I am. You already know that I'm your son, Jimmy.
I don't ever remember having a son named Jimmy, though. I've never had a son in general, actually.
Yo, stop it with the crappy jokes. You come back to the house right now.
What was that? I'm still not sure who you are and what makes you think you can talk to a stranger like that.
For God's sake, woman, you know who I am. I'm Jimmy, your flipping son. Now come home.
Oh, Jimmy? That Jimmy? I thought you said that we were cutting ties and all that 3 days ago. Did you not understand what the meaning of cutting ties was?
Shut up. Right now, my dad is as pale as a ghost. He told me he never actually thought that you'd leave us. Where the hell are you right now?
Hold on, weren't you acting all tough and such when you told me to get lost, or was that all for show? Because I've already gone and handed in the divorce forms and everything. And another thing, whatever happened to the apology for pouring beer into my face like that?
Why the hell should I be apologizing to you for that? That had to happen to you because you were being all mouthy with me. And the fact you were drinking beer like that in the first place without my dad there.
I see. Well then I guess there's nothing else I have to say here. Goodbye forever.
Listen to me, you dumb idiot.
I almost forgot that I needed to tell you this. I'm going to end the lease on that house now for you guys since I'm no longer living there. Make sure you get out of there in the next few days. I have to make sure the place is ready to be rented out again in 1 month. See ya.
What? Wait a second. Please wait.
Bye-bye, you little shit.
Please. Answer your phone, please. Where are you right now? My dad and I are both battered now.
Ugh. You are so goddamn annoying. Day after day after day, you call and call and call. Every time being met with me ending said call on you. And when you've had enough trying to call, you start to send text after text. What the actual hell do you want from me?
You're finally answering me. I'm tired of you trying to dodge me. Now come back home.
Jimmy, are you freaking brain dead or something? I literally have no reason for going back to you guys anymore. Not a single reason. Yet you keep on trying to tell me to come home to you both? You really think starting off the conversation in that tone with a complete stranger like that is going to get you anywhere with them?
Well, I got it. Please come home.
Tell me why I should do that. Tell me why someone you don't even care about anymore and who certainly doesn't care about you both should come back. So far, this conversation has gotten nowhere once again, and it's going to lead to me blocking you. All right? I can really tell now that you are such a spoiled little brat.
Excuse me? I'm the one asking you to come home.
I never said that I wanted to be asked to go back there, though. The fact that you just keep assuming I'd even want to go back there just tells me there's no use in talking to you. I'm done here. Are you?
I didn't know anything.
What was that?
I never thought that you were the one taking care of this whole family. That's why I need you to come back here now.
So you've only just now figured all of that out? I can't believe something so simple and so obvious to everyone else wasn't immediately understood by you. Just goes to show how much you lack a brain, huh? What was it? What was it you always called me again? The parasite leeching off your money? I could have sworn it was something like that. But hold on just 1 second. Didn't you mean to call your father and yourself that when referring to my money you were sucking away from me?
Shut the hell up! I didn't know anything about that. I told you this already. I was thinking that the whole time that the money my dad and I were making was being used to keep you in the house. But when I had my eyes finally opened...
Yes, okay. Well, it really sucks to be you now, right? The moment you saw the reality of everything and knew that it was my money that allowed you to live in that house and eat what you wanted, you probably felt some sort of thanks towards me, right?
I am thankful. That's why you need to come back here now. Come back here and live with Dad and I.
Don't make me laugh too hard, Jimmy. Keep all that sleepy talk to yourself, you little brat. Who the hell would want to go back to having all their money drained away by you two bozos? Ever since I got away from you both, I have been living the time of my life again. I feel like a brand new woman that's been reborn.
Don't say things like that. All of this is my dad's fault, for crying out loud. Remember how I was telling you about my dad keeping all of my allowance to himself until I was a good boy and he'd give me some? Well, he was doing the same thing with all the money I made from my part-time job, and made me think part of it was going to you. I thought that some of it would be coming to me, though, as well. But then I found out it was you who was giving me my allowance at times.
So you're going to lay all the blame on your father now for the way you were behaving around me? Does this mean your father was the one who poured that beer into my face? And was that him I was hearing calling me ugly and old all those times? And wait a minute, was that him always complaining about the food I cooked? I don't think all of that was him.
I know that wasn't all him. Actually, I've started to realize my dad can't do any chores. And the inside of this house is looking like a pigsty now. We're always having to eat out now because neither of us can cook, using up all of our money.
Sucks to suck then, doesn't it? All that time I was around, you both never did a frickin' thing. And after so many years, you finally realized that all that work I was putting in is too much for you guys? You can't tell me that you just assumed all those things would be kept to the moment I was kicked out of the house, right?
This is why you need to come here and help. If we don't get some help soon, we won't be able to live here any longer.
Then let's hope you can both figure something out with your own strength. I've been divorced from your father for a month now, and you are nothing more than an annoying little brat to me. And unfortunately, I'm not that nice of a person where I'd be willing to help a couple of complete strangers become happy again at my own risk.
Don't say something like that about us, please. My dad, he hasn't even found himself a job yet, actually.
Really? But just a while back, he was bragging about how he had this new job and everything he was going to do. He told me that was the reason for him always being out late and sometimes not making it back home until the next day. And he told me he was so busy with that job that he couldn't help me with any of the housework. You even said it yourself that he was busy.
Well, that wasn't even him going to work then. He was just out having fun with other women was all. He told me that he took a lot of your money and would go out and get entertained by all of them.
Well, we both knew that. You were the one who told me he was doing that, right? That he's so good looking that he can get all the women? I was actually thinking about getting a detective at the time to follow him out, but when you told me he was with all those other women, that was all I needed. Thank you so much for that useful information back then, Jimmy. And by the way, since I was able to get some evidence of all that happening behind your backs before the divorce, I expect your dad to owe me a settlement soon.
What? A settlement?
Well, of course, a settlement. He was out playing with other women while still married to me and using my money to do so. And all of that was going on while he told me he couldn't be bothered with any of the chores or taking care of you. You really thought that he could just get away with all of that unscathed?
Wait, my dad is out looking for a job right now. It's already been hard enough for the two of us to live as things are. If you try and get a settlement from us, you'll literally be killing us.
Well, if you would rather swim than sink, go and have your dad marry one of those fine women. Hey, better yet, go ask one of them to be your mother. I'm sure half those women are married too, so their husband might be willing to support their cheating wife's little pet. As for myself, though, I'm not backing down, and will be getting that money from your father, so make sure he's aware of that now.
What? What are you going on about now?
This is just a guess on my part, but I'd assume some of the women your dad's with have husbands. Which means when those husbands find out, they will want a settlement just as much as I do. So expect to watch your dad, along with his gang of women, get completely destroyed by all the settlements they'll be met with. Now, the best of luck to the both of you while your dad struggles to find himself a job.
No way! I can't work any more than I already am. I was never meant to work a full-time job or anything.
You think I care what you're meant for? If you really want to hear what I think you ought to do, try throwing those video games away and work using that time.
I've already sold all of them. And we're getting kicked out of this house soon too. We also have quite literally no money to our names. As of right now, there is nothing to look forward to in life anymore.
Stop acting all sad about yourself. It's so simple. Work with all that time you have and make some dang money. There are 24 hours in a day, so work 24 hours.
But
right now I'm living in a high-rise apartment thinking about you two lowlifes, all while I have the most amazing time of my life. But I'd really like to stop thinking about you both. So please, with absolutely no respect at all, stop talking to me and go the hell away.
a high-rise apartment? Are you serious? Hey, you have some money right now, correct? So how about you please help me out at least?
No reason to do that for you. Did you really think that you could just sit around having fun all your life while making others do the work for you? You've set yourselves up as one of the most useless, unemployable, hot-headed, brainless lowlifes around. And the only thing that awaits things like you is a life burning in literal hell. Now, good frickin' day to you. After that, I went ahead and made sure to never respond to that beyond spoiled brat ever again, and that sent both him and his dad on their way to hell. Soon after, my lawyer went ahead and spoke to my ex and told him about the settlement I'm owed, before giving him a deadline and wishing both him and Jimmy a good day. This led to the two, once very close to one another, father and son, to start fighting over whose fault all of this was. As for myself, I'm living it up in this brand new high-rise apartment I've gotten myself. And one could say this was the best second chance at life any human has been given. Those two buffoons that learned the very hard way that neither of them were going to be helped by myself any longer are out there somewhere right now, probably running around like a chicken with its head cut off, looking for jobs. I'd like to call that the perfect ending, and the most likely ending for the both of them. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.